Hello, beautiful people. Danielle here from my bed. From Transcendence to the Truth. Oh no, I can see an eyelash. It's molting. Probably from all the purging. Yeah, mate.
Can you do my breakfast?
Can Sienna help? Can you ask Sienna?
She can't.
Of course, this happens right now. Tell Sienna.
She can't do it.
Why not?
It's too hard.
Too hard to do what?
To open the milk lid off.
Oh, bring the milk. I'll do it in bed. Good morning. We'll start again. Basically, I wanted to jump on and talk about the purging that's sort of happening in the collective energy. So as much as I don't agree. So my belief systems now have shifted so much that I don't align and agree with star signs. I don't align and agree with Mercury retrograde and all of the chaos that comes from that. I don't agree with a lot of the constructs the minds create to identify and understand things, because that's what the mind does. It tries to identify. Hang on, I'm trying to open milk with one hand. It tries to identify and understand. There you go, it's open. I identify and understand everything to make sense of itself, right? So as we go on our journey, we go outwardly around we go into different modalities, different beliefs, different ideas, different philosophies, until we come back into ourselves and realize that life is really not that complicated. It's very simple. But we have to layer off all of the shit and all of the beliefs that we have thought are what is possibly true and real, to find what true and real is for us as individuals. So what's happening at the moment, regardless of what my beliefs are of not believing around Mercury retrograde, I will explain why I still can be at the effect of that, and why every single individual on this planet can be at the effect of that. Because we are one mind. We are one consciousness. So what happens is, when you live in a world of believers, and you have the majority of the population that believe in something like Mercury retrograde, or you have a belief that Mercury retrograde is bringing up all of the shadows to be seen and purged out so that you can embody more light, right? So that's the belief. There's truth in every single belief that you can look at. There's truth in every single thing that a person says. It's just whether or not you want to look at the truth for you and what is aligned with your soul at that time. And that will shift and change as you evolve and grow as a person. But so that is like, we've just come out of the shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, which is a purging of pains, traumas, old beliefs. And it can usually be quite a traumatic or chaotic time for some people, depending on where they are at that time. Sometimes purging looks very different to every individual. So purging is basically where the cells are releasing the dense dark energy, and they're releasing it. If you think of a cell as a yin and yang, it's got dark and light in it. But when it needs to embody more light, it has to release the dark, and then that level of light goes, it sort of transforms and rebalances itself to bring in more light. So it's just this constant rebalancing of self. That is all life is about, is becoming more integrated as a balanced whole being. Good morning. I'd love to see all these beautiful faces. I didn't even know what time it is. It's school holidays. That's why there's a few more people on, because no one's getting ready for school drop-off. So when you have these purging phases come up, you will come up with some contrast in your life and possibly some difficult emotions. Things will be coming out of the shadows that maybe you've dropped the veil of illusion on, and you're seeing in truth about yourself, about others, which is always about yourself anyway. And sometimes that is really uncomfortable. So the purging can be things like grief that has been locked up in my back from childhood, right? So initially you think it's about this, you think it's initially about this one situation that's brought up in your life, something that's been causing you pain, something that, your back's giving you grief, right? So those sort of things that we say to ourselves, when we actually look at them in truth, they hold a lot of meaning. The grief that's been stored in my back, for me to see more of myself and to gain more awareness around myself and to layer off some more of my shadow to understanding why I'm choosing what I'm choosing, has been brought up in a recent situation that then with awareness, we don't have to go. I saw a great TikTok actually the other day that was saying you don't have to go digging into your past or into your trauma to actually find and heal and do the shadow work, because it will pop up in your everyday life. So it's just having the awareness and the willingness to work on what pops up right then and there. And that's the best way, in my opinion, to work through your stuff, because if you're looking at the situations that are in your life, they're mirroring everything you need to be looking at and that you're ready to work on. So for me, the grief has come up, and it has been this level of working on why this situation is coming up. Why do I have a similar feeling and notion and emotion and pain and holding on and not wanting to let go between two specific people in my life and then my mother? And I'm like, what is the link here? Like, I don't understand. I'm trying to look at what I've done in each connection, looking at how I've behaved, looked at the belief and the expectations, and then looking at the inner feelings. And when I looked at, I've done a lot of work on this already, so I've already gained a lot of awareness on this, but this was just a new level of understanding for me, that I have always been a natural born healer. So seeing my mother in a lot of pain throughout my childhood, like she lived pain, trauma, and drama throughout our whole childhood. A majority of her life was pain, trauma, and drama. And as a child, coming in without those limiting beliefs, wanting to take that pain away so that I could feel the love, right? Because when somebody's in pain, you can't feel love from them. You can only feel their pain. And onboarding a lot of that and going into that healer, rescuer, savior mode. My mum was in her feminine. I have a masculine core. And so my masculine was trying to balance and help, from my interpretation of this, to balance that out. And I definitely was that space of constant consistency. And I was a sounding board in a lot of times, in a lot of situations, and watched my mum go through a lot of emotional stuff. And then linked with many other traumas throughout my life, abandonment issues from my father, and then sexual abuse, and looking for love in all the wrong places, and then working on my own levels of self-love. It came to a point where I was still attracting this this specific person or this specific pattern where I was going to be the healer or the rescuer or the savior, and put all of my love and energy and put all of that into someone, so that if I love them just enough, right? If I love them enough, then they would be whole, heal, happy, and then they'll be able to match me and be able to move forward in this level of equality, I guess. I'd be worthy then, right? If I did all of that, then I'd be worthy of love. So that's where the core sort of some of it. The rest of it, it's when you start looking at shadow work, like you're going to find one little awareness, and then you're going to find another little bit, and then you're going to find another little bit, and then you're going to find another little bit. And it's like a constant unfolding, because it's never just one part of awareness. It can be linked to many different stories in your childhood as to how you played out. And also, you know, through ancestral stuff that you come in and you bring in to heal. So the purging will show up in different ways, and it could be that you're going to purge through losing a job. It could be purging through your physical health. So my back's gone, which has then caused enough pain for me to grieve some of these things, for me to grieve the fact that I cannot heal others. Only every individual person can heal themselves, which means I have to focus on my own healing for my own self-worth, love myself enough, give myself enough healing and love in that way that I'm healing me, and I'm not putting that energy into trying to help someone else have their life whole, or to do their shadow work, or to work on themselves. It's totally up to each individual person to do that for themselves. And all I can do is come to a beautiful space of love, unconditional love, allowance, compassion, and mercy for that person to go on their journey exactly how they're supposed to. But I don't have to be at the effect of it. So you can come into this beautiful, loving space with people, and the people that maybe have caused some pain, and getting from allowance into completely unconditionally loving them and having compassion for somebody is just a beautiful shift in itself, and it will transform that pain into love, because they are one of the same. So have a little think about what's coming up for you. What's coming up for you to be seen and released emotionally. What shadow parts are you trying to purge? Is it friends? Is it emotional? Is it relationships? Is it your own relationship with yourself? Is it old beliefs and constructs that no longer serve you, that it's time to let go of and make way for the newness to come in? Thank you for having our little bedroom chat. I hope you all have a beautiful Tuesday, and I'm sending you so much love and light, and I don't even like saying that. I was like, and a little push to do your shadow work, because it's all about coming into full love of the entire self, which is the good, bad, and the ugly, without any judgment. All right. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you. Bye.